Welcome to the Zetectics Torque Tool Setup and Calibration video series. This part will cover unboxing your torque tool and preparing it for use. The torque tool and all ancillary parts will be delivered in a Peli storm case. The storm case lid will have a label affixed which states the details of the tool. These details should be quoted whenever requesting support. The bespoke foam set provides space for hoses, cables and documentation. Start by removing the hoses, ensuring they are checked for ident labels and the correct fittings. A laminated drawing pack will be included and should be used for reference when preparing the tool for use. There will be a laminated top-level deliverable list detailing all parts that will have been provided when the tool was new. Electronic copies of all documentation is included on a USB flash drive. A bound copy of the FAT record should also be included. This records all the tests performed on the tool prior to delivery. A selection of handles are available and, if purchased, will be included in the case along with any fittings required. 2 lifting straps are provided with every tool. These can be used to remove the tool from the case and should be placed as shown. Take care to avoid the latch linking tubes. Ensure you have assistance and a safe area to place the tool. Before using the tool Subsea, it is important to purge it of any air. We are starting with the motor case. This instruction can be found on page 7 of the torque tool operation manual. Some manuals may state to use port 1, however this is normally painted over prior to delivery. Therefore, you should typically attach your pump to port 2 and bleed any air from port MC. As the motor case is painted to provide some protection, it is difficult to identify any engraving. The general assembly drawing should be used to correctly identify each port. Port 2 is found on the rear face of the motor and will normally already have a fitting installed. The MC port is found on the top of the tool next to one of the compensation ports. This will be fitted with a plug that will need removing until all the air has been purged. In this example, we use a low-pressure bug sprayer style bottle. Ensure that caps are fitted to the L and R motor ports and pump oil into port 2. Continue pumping oil until all air appears to be purged from port MC. When satisfied this has been achieved, refit the plug and clean off all excess oil. The next step is to fill and purge the compensation cavity. This is a test setup. An operational setup will typically look different, with the compensator mounted away from the tool. We recommend that the tool always has its own compensator and the hose or pipe length is kept to a minimum. Start by isolating the compensator so the cavity can be filled first. A pressure relief valve should be fitted to port C2. Continue to fill until all air has been purged from port C1. Refit the plug to port C1, then open the compensation isolation to allow the compensator to fill. Monitor the fill level, typically aiming for around 50% to allow for expansion. It should not be filled more than 80%. Isolate the fill port and remove the pump. This concludes unboxing and preparing the tool. You can now move on to connecting the tool to a control system.